A game Archivist production.
Hi guys, it's Archivist here, coming at you with another top 5, this time going through my personal favourite Call of Duty games. Now, it is very important to mention here that I am ranking them based on my personal experiences and not necessarily their objective quality. So with that said, here's the list.
Number 5.
Okay, so at number 5 on the list comes the most recent release, Black Ops 2. While I accept that the game made some excellent advances in storytelling and zombies, I must admit I felt a bit fatigued playing the game. Being a Call of Duty player since 4, it was all too familiar by this point. If this was your first Call of Duty, you may have had a better time of it, but for me at least it felt like too much of the same by this point. Don't get me wrong, there is nothing inherently wrong with the game. Actually, I thought the kill streak to score streak change was certainly a step in the right direction. I am hoping Ghosts, released later this year, will make significant enough a step forward to draw me back in.
Number 4.
In at number 4 is the first Black Ops. I love this game for two main reasons. First off, it was my best Call of Duty, at least going by my kill to death ratio. The second was Nuketown, which is probably my favourite map in the entire series. The reason the game is not further up the list though is personally I felt the campaign was fairly forgettable. To be honest, all I remember is flashing red symbols.
Number 3.
Shooting its way into third place was my first Call of Duty title, Modern Warfare. By far the strongest aspect was its story, featuring some of the most memorable moments in the series, the final scene being especially tense. Being one of the first Call of Duties, it also had what I would call a tame multiplayer. Rather than running around like the Rambo wannabes of today, people played far more conservatively. Snipers actually took their time before pulling the trigger, rather than running around hoping for a lucky quickscope.
Number 2.
At second comes the infamous Modern Warfare 2. By this point the series had truly become an industry success story. This was the Call of Duty that I had the most fun in multiplayer, even if I wasn't very good at it. For me, the biggest evolution was the inclusion of choosing your own kill streaks. Getting my first AC-130 on Rust was a true highlight of my Call of Duty career. Essentially, Modern Warfare 2 was a perfect sequel, one-upping its predecessor in almost every way. It was also the first Call of Duty to bring in Spec Ops, a co-op mode that encouraged players to work together to defeat overwhelming odds.
It's number 1.
I don't know if this would be everyone's choice, but World at War for me at least was probably my favourite Call of Duty experience. For one thing, I had a blast with the co-op campaign, which really added replayability to the main story. I also really enjoyed the World War II setting because it felt authentic. I felt a greater connection to the characters given events similar to this actually took place. I also have some fond memories of the multiplayer, despite being basically terrible at it. It had some great maps, awesome weapons, and the introduction of dogs was a nice change to the helicopter. Thinking of it now, the PPSH was probably my all-time favourite Call of Duty gun. The rate of fire was absolutely insane. This was also the first Call of Duty to feature zombies, and it was also the only game when I really enjoyed it. I played the original 4 World at War maps so many times that by the time Black Ops rolled around, I really couldn't enjoy the game mode as much as before. Overall, I loved World at War for so many different reasons, and perhaps I am viewing it through nostalgia goggles. It had a great co-op campaign, great multiplayer maps, and authentic guns. Those were my personal top 5 Call of Duty games. What are your favourite games in the series? Let me know in the comments below. If, like me, you are excited for Ghosts, you may want to check out my preview by clicking the annotation or finding the link in the description. As always guys, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.